Do I look beautiful? I don't know where my beanie is. It's fine. So it's very early in the morning. Um, like 11. Sometimes I forgot these hours existed. So I want to do my review over Godzilla King of the Monsters. I watched it yesterday. And so I got a lot of views for my Marvel unboxing. Like 500 plus, and usually my videos get 2 digits, so I'm gonna start doing some more mainstream stuff. First of all, for my review, I would like to complain because I've been going to the Moore Warren for a long, long time, and Regal bought them out about a year ago, and they haven't really changed anything. I mean, like the opening credits things would be different. I mean, the way they go about their ticket sales is a little bit different. I mean, not worse, just different. But here's my bitch. I have been ordering the bacon cheese fries from the fucking diner downstairs literally since I was in junior high. Well, they changed the menu on me. And when you go to the director's suite of the top floor Moore Warren and you just want a tall Bud Light and some fucking cheese fries and they tell you, yeah, we don't have that anymore. With no sympathy. I was heartbroken. So, positive side note, they do have some really delicious pizza now because we settled for a bacon chicken barbecue pizza. And we killed that fucker before the movie even started, so no complaints about that. But the fact that those cheese fries are gone, makes me contemplate ever going back. And I may just continue to go to the AMC because I enjoy the AMC so much. I just fucking get my tickets online, walk up, they don't even ask for anything other than a barcode, and then you go sit down. There's no haggling. But aside from that, the general movie theater experience was great. Now, getting into the movie. When we got started, I'm not the type of person that likes to sit down and watch, like, the previous films. Like, I didn't go home and, like, hurry up and watch Godzilla, then, Skull Island, and then I was like, all right, let's hurry up and go to the theater. I haven't watched those in months, so I enjoy kind of walking in blind because most of these movies, they do recaps, and just like I figured, they did a recap. And it begins, kind of with, I don't know, I guess I should say spoilers. It begins kind of with, the typical, this is what happened 5 years ago, blah, blah, blah. We're recovering, trying to, move forward in life, but what's going to happen next? So the mom, Vera Farmiga's character, she is a monarch scientist, I guess you could call her, and she's working on this machine that will help, like, send out these, I don't know if they're sound waves or whatever, but they're calling it an orca. I'm assuming that it's definitely something that, stands for orca, but I'm thinking orca wheels, they send out those feelers, then they can migrate together. That's how they mate or whatever, or avoid danger. I don't know. I don't live in the ocean. But the idea of this machine is to kind of control their habits. She can calm these monsters down, or she can tell them to come to certain locations. She can give them instructions. So it's a pretty dangerous fucking tool that everybody's trying to get their hands on. And shortly after the queen, Mothra, kind of comes out of her little egg, they have a moment where the mom and the kid, her daughter Billy, Millie Bobby Brown, they get to interact with Mothra, like, right after she hatches. And, like, she gets this close to her. It's almost like in the Jurassic Park movie when the main character goes and he starts putting his hand on the sick dinosaur and shit. So she's really close to just about to touch Mothra right on the nose, and then all hell breaks loose, and these mercenaries come in and they start shooting everybody up. So they're like, what the fuck's happening? They're freaking out. Everybody thinks they're going to die, and they're being kidnapped. Well, they're being kidnapped by, like I said, these mercenaries, and the big bad guy in this movie is what's his name? I've been writing things down because I don't have a memory for shit. Jonah. His name's Jonah. It's played by oh, I can't remember what his fucking name is. Anyway, the guy's name is Jonah Allen in the film. And I don't know if you ever watched the Ghostbusters movie, but he's like the asshole who's God damn it. It's gonna be the worst video ever. He's also in Game of Thrones. There you go. This motherfucker's in Game of Thrones, and everybody's seen Game of Thrones, so you'll recognize him from Game of Thrones. Anyway, he wants this machine because he has convinced the mom, Vera, oh, another spoiler, turns out to be on his fucking team. It's all part of the plan, I guess. They they have this theory that if they can get all of these titans out of hibernation or, you know, lockdown, what it appears to be, that if they can get them all back to the surface of the earth, that they will kind of bring balance to the planet. Every time that a natural disaster happens because of Godzilla or the Motus or whatever, Mutos, they would show footage that, like, nature would follow. Like, it's like this giant Godzilla shit causes, like, this giant fertilizer, and then just nature just blows up wherever they go. So you see all this this new green ecosystem shit showing up wherever Godzilla's been, you know, as if like after these natural disasters take place, that like it's just forcing the, you know, the earth to rebuild itself rather than the people trying to rebuild buildings and you know, get back to civilization. It wants, you know, an actual ecosystem to produce instead. So he snatches her up and her daughter, and they hightail it to Antarctica, because that's where King Ghidorah is. Well, they're calling it Subject Zero, I believe, or Monster Zero, because they don't actually have a name for it yet, because they're not quite sure what the fuck it is. And whenever they get there, that's basically the goal there. They're starting to drill holes in the ice, and they want to get King Ghidorah out of hibernation so that they can just stir shit up. And, you know, fast forward a little bit, that's what's fucking happening. Well, you know, you kind of sit there and wonder who this other dude is that they've been showing in the trailers. It's Millie Bobby Brown's dad, and his name is Kyle Chandler. He's also in the King Kong movie. If you ever go back to watch not the original, but the most recent adaptation of King Kong, he plays Bruce Baxter in that movie. And he's also in a lot of, like, Family Guy, American Dad voiceover shit. I don't know if you guys know who this dude is, but if you want to look into him, the dude is, I don't know, not the most mainstream actor in the world, which was one of my bitches about this film. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Godzilla is the main character. This dude is the main character. You're watching Godzilla, but when you watch the Kong movie, there were so many mainstream actors and actresses in that movie. Half the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe was in the Kong movie. Like, half. So, a little bit of I don't know, like a more recognizable... And like, I know they were kind of leaning on Millie Bobby Brown's success from Stranger Things, but I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of unknowns in the film, which is okay, because, I mean, if you go back and watch any of the older Godzilla movies, like, it doesn't matter which one it is. You don't know who any of these fucking people are. You're there to watch Godzilla. So, I get it. I don't know. I just felt like Kong had a lot going on that was, like, eye-appealing. It was, like, people really wanted to, like, I want to see what Sam Jackson motherfuck this monkey, you know? And that didn't happen. That kind of stuff didn't happen. That being said, Kong is all over this film. Like, they reference him everywhere, and it's almost as if he's the only Titan that doesn't appear in the United States towards the end of this film. And I think it's just because he's trapped on the island. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the motherfucker can swim, but, you know, why would he? He's minding his own business. And a lot of these other, you know, Titans, they're submissive, I guess you could say. Like the big four in this movie are Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah. But then there are several others. Like, they show references to Leviathan, and I can't remember half of their names at the moment, but um, darn it. Yep, that I told you I should have took more notes. But you know, there's a ton of references, like whether it be like drawings on the walls in these caves that are all over the film as well. Um, People mentioning it in like Monarch uh, research, like they go through books and show shit on the computer and whatever. Apparently, there's like a total of like 17 references to different Titans in the film. Um, there's a lot. But, you know, you have your big four. And like I said, Mothra got out, and then they get Ghidorah out. Godzilla shows up in Antarctica like that. And they have their first go around. And Godzilla almost whoops that ass. Like, almost. And it almost seems like every single time that these guys do get into a actual like fight where it looks like Godzilla could, you know, win, like I think what they're trying to get over here is nature handles itself. Godzilla's the king. He will fucking put everybody, you know, in their fucking place. Kind of like what King Kong would do on Skull Island, which is why I think God versus King is going to be a good movie. Because they're both alphas. Everybody else on this fucking planet, all these Titans, they're betas. Because they know who the fucking king is. They made reference to the fact that Ghidorah is not in that beta scenario because Ghidorah may not be of this planet. They should, like, they pretty much said that Ghidorah's a fucking alien. And it's a lot like, oh, god damn it. It's a lot like the monster from the Hercules movie, the cartoon, where, like, if you cut one head off, two grows back. In this place, it's not necessarily two, its head grows back, so it's like, how the fuck do you slay this dragon? Because if you cut its head off, it doesn't die. So, like, there is a scene in the movie where, like, I think it's in the second or third fight, because there's a total of three, that Godzilla actually bites one of its heads off completely. You know, like I said, they have their first fight in Antarctica, and it just kind of turns to nothing. Ghidorah gets away, Godzilla falls into, like, a crater or some shit like that, and everybody tries to get the fuck out of Dodge. Well, they're in the middle of the ocean at this point, and for some reason they added this to the film, because this wasn't in the older films. Ghidorah brings a hurricane with him wherever he goes. So if he's flying anywhere, like, it's a fucking hurricane. There's tornadoes that follow this dude. There is lightning that shoots out of this motherfucker's wings. So this dude is, you know, bad motherfucker. So Godzilla's got a lot to handle, no matter what. So they get to the second fight. Like, I'm gonna be bouncing around a little bit. The second fight is in the middle of the fucking Atlantic Ocean. And obviously Ghidorah can fly, so Godzilla, that ain't happening. But this motherfucker swims up and catches up to Ghidorah, and they're getting ready to have a legitimate fight. So the Army, the Navy, and the Marines, and the National Guard, they all get together. Like, all four branches of military, we're going to assist in this. We're not going to let them fight. We're going to join the fight. And so they're starting to put an airstrike down on Ghidorah. They're helping Godzilla as much as they can. But then out of nowhere, this military dude comes up on the screen, and I remember him from the first film. I don't remember how significant it was. But he basically says, hey, we've created a bomb that will suck all the oxygen out of the air in that area. You need to get the fuck out of Dodge, because this is already happening. You have 2 minutes. So that bomb, I don't know if you watched the older Godzilla movies, but that bomb has happened before in a previous film, and it actually helped create a Mecha Ghidorah. I think that was what it was, either Mecha Ghidorah or something else. But that's happened before. So they kind of pulled something as an Easter egg. They pulled it out of one of the older films. Anyway, so they drop this bomb. Godzilla's down for the fucking count, and he's sinking to the bottom of the ocean, and it actually does nothing to fucking Ghidorah. Ghidorah's in the ocean, and then just pops the fuck up, flies into the fucking sky, no one knows where he's going. He ends up in Mexico, where I jumped around, like I said. Rodan has popped out of a fucking volcano. I don't know. He is the fire demon, which is just a very, very angry bird. Like, not like an Angry Bird's Angry Bird. He is a very angry bird. And, I mean, we're talking about he's like, Rodan is basically a Moltres. So, he's just not as pretty. He's a fucking Pokemon. See? It's all coming together because Dr. Ishiro, detective from Pokemon. Yep. He is from the Detective Pikachu film. And the Transformers movies. I don't know if you saw the Transformers movies, but he's in a bunch of them too. Fucking all over the place. So you saw Mothra, hatch. You got, and then go into hibernation. So you've got Godzilla in the ocean. You've got Rodan standing on top of, or on the side of this volcano because Ghidorah was like, "Get the fuck off my volcano! I'm king now. I just beat Godzilla." And pretty much, Rodan, he's submissive to whoever's the most badass guy in the room, apparently. So he's kind of like a duff for Rodan, or for Ghidorah at the moment. And basically what they were trying to do is they were trying to use this orca machine to, one at a time, let these creatures out of their hibernation. So that's what they were doing. But then out of nowhere, you start seeing things happening all over the globe where all of these titans are coming at once. And even the big bad dude, Jonah, he was like, "I thought we were going to do these gradually." And she's just like holding the machine. She's like, "I'm not doing this." So Ghidorah is waking these motherfuckers up because he's trying to stir the fucking pot and turn this planet upside down. And so the Dr. Ishiro and the main character, the dad, and Kyle Chandler's character, and Bradley Whitford. I forgot to mention Bradley Whitford from fucking Billy Madison is this Dr. Stanton guy. He is every good film has a quirky dude behind the computer that's always talking shit while he's like, "Yeah, give me 5 seconds, I got it." That's his character, and he's the one that suggests that they'd start, Godzilla needs radiation. He needs some kind of nuclear something to bring his ass back up. Well, they suggest this fucking atom bomb, this nuclear fucking bomb. Well, let's fucking bomb him and wake him the fuck up. Well, for some reason, this military chick comes up and she's like, "Yeah, the missile launch ain't happening. The fucking machine's broken." So they're like, "Well, what do we do?" Dr. Ishiro says, "Well, we'll just take it down there manually." He's like, "It's so radioactive down there at the core of the earth, you'll fucking die. You'll go blind. You can't do it." And he's like, "Well, I'll do it." He's trying to make a sacrifice to save the fucking planet. So they put him in this little pod, and he goes down to the bottom of the fucking ocean, and I'm so sorry, my eyes goddamn itchy. Hold on. Off again. Oh, yeah. Get in there. Uh-huh. Okay. Maybe. Maybe we can get through this. We're almost done. We're going up on 20 minutes. So, Dr. Ishiro, he takes this fucking nuclear bomb, which looks like a giant bullet with a fucking keyboard on it, down to the, you're basically going to the bottom of the ocean. And they discover this fucking ancient tomb that's like prehistory. And as he's going through, you just see more of these cave drawings all over the fucking place. And it's just reconfirming the fact that back in the old days, everybody worshipped Godzilla as if he were God. So he breaks through and they find this ancient temple, right? And I mean, we're talking like predating anything. I mean, Godzilla's been around with all these titans forever. And so he gets to the surface where Godzilla's resting or whatever, and apparently they're like, "Hey, it could take years for him to get back to like full health. We ain't got that kind of fucking time." And he knows for a fact that when he gets there, as soon as he detonates this bomb, there's no going back. So he finds Godzilla right in front of his face, and he's just like, "Hello, old friend, thank you, goodbye, whatever," press the button. Like, he gets to have that moment that Millie Bobby Brown wanted to have with Mothra, where she's reaching. She wants to put her hand on him. And he puts his hand on Godzilla's nose, and he's like, "Thank you. There is something floating in this fucking room." And he presses the button and blows the fuck up. So apparently this is more radioactivity than they've ever tried to put into any bomb ever. This was like a continent exploding bomb that they just shot off in the bottom of the ocean. So, boom, Dr. Ishiro's gone, which is sad because he was in the first Godzilla movie and he played a very big part. And like he was like the main. This is gonna sound shitty. He's like the main Asian dude. So like it was that one little bit that came from the original films that they brought over that just shoved it into your face. Because this film has references to the old films all fucking over it. I mean, it's a Godzilla movie. You can't avoid it. So that happens, and then they realize that whenever they did that, that they just juiced up Godzilla so bad that it's like blatantly noticeable. Like, holy shit, this dude is glowing. Like, the veins in his body are fucking shining, and his tail is lit up constantly. So he is just, not in a comedic way, but this dude is shooting out fucking ray blasts out of his goddamn mouth, like, way more often because he's trying to get it out. And it's like, alright, dude, he can definitely take Ghidorah now. He's gonna fuck this dude up. And they end up having their third, their big fight. But we'll get to that in a second. Millie Bobby Brown's character, while she is pissed the fuck off at her mom because she realizes, oh wait, you're the bad guy here, she steals the fucking machine. She steals the box, the orca. She steals it. And she sneaks off to the baseball stadium. I can't remember what town they're in. I definitely had some drinks while I was watching this movie. I can't exactly. I think it was in Chicago's not right. I don't remember. Give me a second. So she takes this thing and she starts broadcasting the sound over the sound system in the baseball stadium to draw all of these animals together. So she, she hits the button, she hooks it up, and there's speakers. Sorry. There are speakers everywhere. And, it's a baseball stadium. How else are you going to hear the commentary? So she just starts playing the sound. So all of these creatures are headed to the same place. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, child? You're going to kill everybody. And, which was like the dumb thing that I thought happened in this film, that they brought them to the middle of a major city. However, it's Godzilla movie 1, and 2, it was a teenager that did it, so why is there any rationality supposed to be in this film at all? Made no fucking sense, because kids are stupid, and 1, and 2, it's Godzilla. Everything's already fucked up. It's Godzilla. It's Kaiju Big Battle. It's gonna happen. Buildings are meant to be fucked up in Godzilla movies, so it's okay. So, here we go. Everybody's going to the same place. All the Titans are headed to the same fucking place. So, she drops the mating call. Here's everybody coming. And, anyway, you get to the third big fight. And like I said, Godzilla's roid raging. And he gets into this big battle with fucking Ghidorah. Lots and lots of drama. He's biting heads off, like I mentioned before. And, Ghidorah gets to the better of him for the moment. Picks him up. It basically takes him up into the highest level where the Earth's atmosphere starts to get dull and like the oxygen's gone. And he pretty much does a fucking Charizard seismic toss on this motherfucker where he just lets him drop. Godzilla goes down in like a flaming ball because he's coming into the atmosphere so fast. Boom, hits the ground. He's fucking down for the count. And you see this great shot of Ghidorah. I say shot like they actually got it. And it's not all CGI. It's Ghidorah standing on the fucking volcano where wings are out, lightning shooting out, there's tornadoes in the background, and there's like this religious, Christian cross like in the foreground. And you just see this dude standing on the volcano as if he's the new god. In comes Mothra and Rodan. Well, Rodan's kind of been there, but here's Mothra. And Mothra has that healing ability where she basically drapes herself over Godzilla and sprinkles her little fucking magic moth dust on him to kind of give him the youth, I guess, you know, healing, whatever it is that she fucking drops on him. It helps the dude out. And then she goes straight for Ghidorah. She starts fucking stabbing him in the goddamn eyes and stuff. Rodan gets involved. So you have two big giant fights going on at the time, because Rodan and Mothra pair off over here, and then you have Ghidorah, Godzilla over here, and they're doing their fucking thing. Not gonna get into all of that shit because the video is way too fucking long. You're gonna have to go watch the movie. Eventually, Godzilla gets the fucking W, okay? So, when he does, I mean, huge fucking blast the fuck out of this dude, lays him out. Head's ripped off, body's all fucked up. He's laid out for the count. And all of these other Titans are late to the party. And this is like the visual that makes sense of all these other things. It's like, why the fuck are they bringing all these Titans together? Oh, wait. This motherfucker just proved to every single Titan that he is king. He is the god. And every single one of these Titans, they bow to him. And so he gets to do his, you know, he gets to have his moment on top of the mountain, basically, where he's standing there, you know, he shoots up the fucking hyper beam into the sky, and all these other monsters, the spider, the Motu, the Mothra's kind of, Rodan, all of them, they bow to him. They're like, oh, well, we're not fucking with you anymore. We understand. Sorry. We won't let it happen again. And that's kind of how you end the film. There was a little bit more stuff that went on with the mom and the dad and the daughter. You know, they're trying to find her at the baseball stadium. They don't know where the fuck she is. They realize that, oh man, we're in our fucking hometown. She probably went to the house. Sure enough, the fucking house is destroyed, like a tornado just went through, and they're trying to find her. Eventually, smart kid went into the bathtub. They find her in the bathtub. And so the family's back together. They're taking off and getting on a helicopter, and they're trying to figure out, you know, what the fuck is going on here? Where is everybody? What do we do? We're getting on the helicopter, and then mom decides, oh fuck, I'm gonna stay behind, because while Godzilla's down for the count, she needs something to distract Ghidorah for a little while, so she redeems herself. You know, like I said, I'm all over the fucking place. She redeems herself partway through the movie, because through the movie she's the fucking asshole that caused all this, and she's trying to find a way to redeem herself by making up for it just a little bit. So while Mothra's over here trying to help Godzilla, Ghidorah's over here raising fucking hell, getting ready to kill him. She fucking takes the orca, sends a different signal, distracts the motherfucker, gets in a Hummer and starts hauling ass. So Ghidorah's about to start chasing after this fucking car. You know, you can kind of figure out what happens there. Then we move on to the main fight, blah, blah, blah. So, Dad gets his daughter back. Godzilla wins. All these other giant Titans are bowing to him. They understand that this bad motherfucker right here, we ain't gonna mess with him. And the only thing I'm thinking right here is, where the fuck is Kong? Boom! Godzilla. Movie's over. So I'm sitting here like, okay, they're not going to set it up in the movie. They're going to set it up post-credits. They have to. So when you start watching the credits, it starts referencing that. Like, it says things like, what is a king to a god, you know? And then it shows some newspaper articles of, you know, what happened and how people are recovering. And, oh, we tracked this one. It went back to its resting place, blah, blah, blah. Shit just moves on. And as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, they're not going to jump into it. You know, we're not going to have a stare down or a face off or any of that cool shit, which I thought that's how it would be great if that movie ended. You know, you see Godzilla, he has his big fucking thing, and then the camera just turns around. You go to the other side of the fucking city, and there's Godzilla, and you just see him go, you know. That'd be a cool way to end the fucking movie. Well, it's not how it ended. So, we're going to wait. You know, I'm sure it'll be fucking another 5 years before that fight even happens. But, so, credits are gone. I'm like, there's definitely a post-credit scene. Let's wait and see. Here we are back in Mexico, post-credit scene. Boom, spoilers still home. And you see Jonah, the bad guy. You know, and everybody's kind of wondering what the fuck happened to him. You see Jonah, he goes into this, what looks like a fish market. And there's flies everywhere. It's gross. And this dude's just like, yeah, man, it took us a long time to get this. You know, I hope you like it, blah, blah, blah. Lights come on. Jonah's face is real fucking bright. And he says, we'll take it. And you turn around, and there's these flies just all fucking over it. It's one of Ghidorah's severed heads, the one that got bit off earlier. That was the biggest thing from this whole fucking movie that I took away, was that motherfucker's head never grew back. Well, it did, but the motherfucker got it bit off again. I'm like, what happened to the head? You know, the whole time I'm just like, where'd it go? You saw it grow back, but you didn't see where it went. And then later on, happens twice. So they're in this giant warehouse, whatever, and you just get this visual of this big nasty head. And he's like, we'll take it. So what I'm thinking is a few things. Either he's going to try to bring back Ghidorah, because if he can grow back a head, he can probably grow back a body. 1. 2. That's how a lot of other Titans were like artificially created, like Mecha Godzilla, Mecha Ghidorah, and then there was another one, I can't remember what his name was, but they used like Ghidorah's genetics to create this other fucking monster that was just this mean, it looked like a Rhydon. I'm gonna use Pokemon references through this whole thing. Mean motherfucker. Now, this was my first ever spoiler-filled review film. Film review. Spoiler-filled film review. And I know I did a very poor job, but if you struggled through this whole thing long enough to enjoy it, and you actually enjoyed it, you picked up something from it, and you're kind of like me, who just enjoys the fucking movies and doesn't get too far into the details. I was all over the place. I wasn't very good at keeping my shit together. My notes are garbage. I'll try to do better. I'm not going to film this a second time. I'm going to go ahead and post it, though, because I hope somebody got something out of it and enjoyed it. If not, that's all right. I hope you guys watched the film. I hope you enjoy the film. I hope I didn't butcher the whole fucking thing. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought Kong Skull Island was better for several reasons, but I have a really good feeling that they're going to take the good elements from Kong, the good elements from both of the Godzilla movies, and when they do have this Kong versus Godzilla movie in 2021 or 2022, whatever it may be, that it's going to be phenomenal. So I'll leave you at that.